alluded to earlier on in the show that we were going to be hearing Jake Paul talk about some sort of announcement. We can all take a deep sigh of relief. He's not walking away from the fight. He signed Caroline Dubois. MVP have signed Caroline Dubois, which is another one that Ben Shalom's lost.
Do you know? Yeah, but for MPVs, from their point of view, what they're doing for women's boxing, you've got to respect it. You've got to respect it because these women now are earning big money, getting great exposure on these undercards. Netflix is a big part of that as well. So, you've got to salute that. I mean, and it's a great signing for Caroline Dubois. Obviously, you feel for Ben Shalom because he's built her from the beginning, took her to, world level. But that's the way the system works. It's the way game goes.
Talking about people losing things, this one has been taken away from him. The WBC have stripped Terence Crawford over a rather unsightly argument. Let's have a listen to Terence Crawford, who's not happy about this.
I see Mauricio, got a lot to say about me not paying him $300,000 plus another $100K something for sanction fees, right? Then he gonna tell me I ain't even apologize. Like, who the you think I am? Boy, you better slap your self. Ain't paying your ass. You talking about pay you $300,000? What makes you so better than any other sanctioned bodies? Huh? Answer that question. What makes you better than the WBO, the IBF, or the WBA? Everybody accepted what I was giving them. But you, the WBC, think that you better than everybody, don't you? So since you, the WBC, and you got the green belt, which don't mean you want me to pay you more than the other sanctioned bodies because you feel like you better than them.
Now, let's have this right, Paul. He would have agreed this prior to the fight.
Yeah.
Now, I'm in no great admirer of the WBC. They invent defences for fighters when they've got disciplinaries, a.k.a. Conor Benn. They allow champions to sit in recess forever. They invent bouts. They don't make mandatories happen. Yeah. But they can't be on the wrong side of this. I mean, ultimately, Sulaiman has turned around and said that $225,000 of this goes towards the fighters' support mechanisms, which I know you'll be a big champion. So where are you this? Are you Team Crawford? Has he got a point, or are you Team Sulaiman?
I'm Team Crawford for the bigger picture, but you've agreed before the fight that you have to pay sanction fees. It's an undisputed title fight. You can't win the undisputed championship without winning that green belt. It's one of the four. Yeah. So you've sort of done the deal. You've had your meal. Now don't complain after it. You've got to pay. I agree. You should be paying up for this, but I don't think them fees should be there in the first place. And I've always said this. I've never been one for sanctioning bodies with the 3%. I've never been one for the commission in the UK, like the Boxing Board of Control, taking 4% of your purse. I've never been in favour of anyone taking any money for fighters to be able to fight for belts, or just to have a licence to fight, firstly. But he did do a deal on these things. Like the fact that they can be negotiated down from 3% to a set amount, like that says it all. The fee should be the fee. If there's no problem with the fee, why lower it? Why feel like you're doing the fights if we'll lower that for you? If the fee's the fee, then demand your full fee.
It kind of makes sense because if you've got 5 belts up, the WBC, the WBA, the WBO, the IBF, and the Ring magazine, you've divided the 3% by 5, and each one of them's got 0.6, haven't they?
I agree. So if all of them have a fee, the fee should be the same, because if they're all fighting together, then it should be 15%, or just get rid of it.
Even though, Paul, I know you're a major advocate for supporting the ecosystem, even though Sulaiman has turned around and said 225 grand of that goes back into the well-being of fighters.
Yeah, I hope it does. And as I've said, I praise the WBC because they are, and I don't want to sound like an ass kisser saying that because I'm not. I haven't got a fight and I'm not fighting for it. But they do have the WBC Cares programme, and it does help fighters. And when my brothers are fighting on shows or anyone's been on a bill where a WBC belt's being fought for, you have to sign a paper as well, which includes you in that policy. So should something happen, which you obviously know a lot about yourself, then you are covered by that policy. So that it's great for boxing. If that's what the sanction fees are paying towards, then great. But we know that a lot of it isn't. And the other governing bodies have agreed to lower theirs. I'm not saying they're perfect by any stretch.
So his argument is about quantum.
With the 1 year amount,
Right. Look, not defending the WBC here at all, because I think I think that makes some terrible decisions, with certain situations. But the rules are the rules. The deals are the deals. And historically, it's always been that way. When he beat Ricky Burns back in Scotland, back in 2014 for the WBO title and all that, he paid the sanction fees. We go into it always doing that. So you can't all of a sudden say, I'm not paying it because I'm now Terence Crawford and I'm now the man. So they struck a deal. So I mean.
What it has done. Should have paid the Simon, but I don't think they should be there in the first place. As a rule, that's my issue. That's my only issue.
What it has done is opened up a raft of automatic mandatories that have suddenly come into play. And one of the beneficiaries of that is our own Hamza Shiraz.
Yes.
With a potential fight against
Christian
Mbele from Canada. That's an opportunity for Hamza, isn't it?
It's a great opportunity for Hamza. A great opportunity. Mbele's I think he's 29 with 1 draw, 24 KOs. Decent fighter, very strong. A little bit slow, a little bit unpredictable, but beatable, and that's the word. Very beatable, and it's a great opportunity for him. Hamza Shiraz is, I think he's,
deserves it.
Yeah, he really does. He's grafted hard. He took himself away, set up camp over in the States. He's done it the right way. And I think that he deserves that opportunity.
His style is suited to someone like Mbele as well. He could look really good in the
Do you like Shiraz, Angel? Do you like Shiraz?
I do.
Yeah,
I do. I think he's a very good fighter. Very disciplined. He's got a great team around him. And he's definitely like a very winnable fight, to be honest.
And Billy's one of those unorthodox fighters that was raw. Where you look at it, but that rawness sometimes can be your undoing as a boxer when the shots are coming from unusual angles, and that's what he's going to have to deal with.
We saw something similar on the weekend with Elif Tehan.
Absolutely.
Ferreira.
Yeah.
It's so wild and aggressive, but just effective. As soon as they land, he's a big puncher in Billy as well.
Someone else who's found himself in a mandatory position is your mate Conor Benn. Mandatory for the WBC welterweight title, which is the one he wants because that's one his father had as a WBC belt. He gets to fight the winner of Garcia versus Mario Barrios. The fight that I always felt he should have was Barrios because I think that's the one a title that he could win. Who do you think he fights? I think it's Garcia, isn't it?
Yeah, it would be Garcia. But here's the thing when we're talking about, this is the thing we're talking about. We're talking about the WBC, so let's stay on the WBC. How do they put a kid in mandatory position as a boxer for 3.5 years? I mean, it's just like, it's insane, man. That's where the system is broke.
Yes.
When we hear about the system being broke, you go, because there's other fighters that have been working their way up to there. Conor, Conor's had some good wins. He's won at 160, 154. But
we know why this is here.
Yeah.
We know why this is here. Because Conor Benn brings the money. Now in the welterweight division.
But that's what we're talking about.
And there's the moral argument.
The ranking system has always been a bit of a problem, but listen, I was number 3 in the world once with the WBO. I'd never been number 3 with the Ring magazine.
Well,
I got my world title fight because I had a good ranking with the WBO, because I'd sort of stuck with that one, fighting for other titles.
But we accept the WBC. We accept things like the WBC. Sorry, you finish.
No, sorry, Seb. So the ranking system has always been wrong when the fact that you're number 1 with the WBC because you're choosing the WBC, you won't be in the WBA top 15 or the WBO top 15. And it's like you can't be number 1 with all of them because you choose one, and then when you do, the others pull you out.
His Manny Pacquiao got put into number 1 position after 6 years out, losing to Ugas in his last fight and looking terrible in that to get to box Mario Barrios. And he done well and got the draw. But my point is, you go,
it's wrong.
How is that system not broken when they're doing stuff like that?
We can see. I mean, we can see certain things when you've got someone like Lawrence Okoli coming up as a 2-weight world champion at cruiserweight and bridgerweight, whatever you think of bridgerweight, and landed at number 5 in the WBC. And I think that's a little bit spurious. But you can perhaps give them a pass on it. When they stick Conor in after having a couple of fights in a 160 weight class and 154, it doesn't feel that that's justified. But also there was the ordering of Lawrence Okoli versus Moses Itauma. I mean, Joe Gallagher talked about that the other day on the show and didn't think that was a plan that was going to happen. Can you see that as a fight, Paul?
Joe won't want Lawrence anywhere near Itauma, and rightly so.
He won't?
No.
Well, that's not what he said the other day.
Well, listen, if he wants to cash in and get a few quid, maybe, but what do you think? With all due respect to Lawrence Okoli, what do you think Moses Itauma's going to do to him? I can see him.
Well, Joe sat in the studio telling us that he thinks that Lawrence Okoli gives Usyk all the trouble that he can possibly handle.
I actually had the conversation with Lawrence Okoli as well, saying, listen, whatever opportunity comes up with one of those top heavyweights, they will take the fight.
He's got to take it.
Because of the title,
there's no road in.
That's what I'm saying. Because the titles are all currently being held by Usyk, and you have all those mandatories, etc., etc. The number 1s and the number 2s will have to fight each other because that's where the big money's at.
Look what's just happened with Joseph Parker. 6 months ago, he was on top of the world.
Absolutely.
He's sitting there now thinking, how am I going to get back in, regardless of the test. I hope that all gets sorted out for what it is, I think. But regardless
took a
of
fight
the
I
test,
didn't need to take.
He's took a
Fought
fight
in a way I didn't need to fight.
Exactly.
And watch someone else get elevated to world title and then have another set of problems. You can't write that for Joseph, can you? We just mentioned Moses, Angel. We might as well ask you about it. You must have a view on him. When you look at Moses Itauma, what do you think the skinny on this kid is? Everyone's talking about that this is a champion in waiting. Yeah. It's only a matter of when, not if.
I do believe that.
Yeah.
He's a great talent. I have to say, just looking back, when AJ was preparing for Usyk 1, he was the kid that actually picked up, and I said, wow, this kid was the one that was giving AJ the most issues. Right. So all I would say is just take it easy, because we know with the media in terms of they'll bring it to a point where he was going to be the Mike Tyson, then he's not. Then just take it easy, because he's actually a great talent. Yeah. And I think taking it slowly, have patience with him, and I think he would definitely go all the way.
AJ Usyk won, so I'm just trying to work it out now. He must have been about 16 then, Moses.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
He really fast.
What do you think he does in the Jermaine Franklin fight? Obviously, everyone's making a lot of stock of the fact that Jermaine Franklin fought Anthony Joshua, didn't get stopped, fought Dillian Whyte. People thought that he might have won that fight. Now we've seen Dillian Whyte reappear against Moses Itauma, get blasted out in 45 seconds or whatever, however long he's in there for. What do you expect Moses to do with Jermaine Franklin, given the fact they're putting him in there to get him some rounds and expect him to be durable?
Yeah, I think Jermaine is probably going to offer a few rounds where you go, okay, but I think it's far too open for Itauma. Yeah. Itauma is too fast. He counts very well. If he sees just a little gap, he will expose that gap from you. And I don't see that fight going 12 rounds, to be honest.